kind of a dull week in college football, but things are heating up. Some games I'm interested in: NC State, Miami. Miami loses in a shootout to UNC, and NC State. Right? I'm trying to see if they're for real or not. They've got the ACC Atlantic Division in their grasp if they could just not slip up. Clemson Pitt. Clemson still has an outside chance looking in. They look terrible against Syracuse. Clemson still has not covered a game. This is the first time they're an underdog, I think, in like years, at least in the regular season in an ACC game, certainly. When they head to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's been fine. Kenny Pickett might have an outside chance of the Heisman, and Pitt's favored by 3. Is Clemson going to finally cover a game? It's interesting. We'll see. How about undefeated Oklahoma State? They take out Texas. Steve Sarkisian, another collapse with the lead. Speaking of bad hires, I mean, you could tell that from the start. Texas. Now that loss to Arkansas is now looking great. Oklahoma State undefeated. They are a dog at Iowa State, who I thought was one of the more overrated teams. They have 2 losses. OK State is a dog. Interesting. They'll head to Ames, Iowa. And it does have my interest peaked for Saturday. Games I'm kind of interested in. You ready? Wake Forest undefeated ACC. That should be BC. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Wake Forest. They go to Army, only 3-point favorites. Army, remember, they've taken out Oklahoma in years past. Certainly no slouch. They're 4-2. Wake undefeated, I believe 6-0. They head to West Point. South Dakota State. San Diego State undefeated. This team could run the table, but they've got a tough slate of games for, the Mountain West for mid-major. See if they cannot slip up and go undefeated. Their first test is against Air Force after they just squeaked out OT winner over San Jose State. One of my favorite teams this year, kind of just rooting for, the University of Texas San Antonio, undefeated. The schedule lines up for an undefeated season. The Roadrunners, can they keep it going? Louisiana Tech is on deck this weekend, and a really just battered USC, Notre Dame. You don't know where you're going to get with them this year. So not the best USC Notre Dame rivalries of the past decade or two, but still some game that you will want to keep an eye on because it's Notre Dame football and it's USC, right? Cincinnati, number 2 team in the country. If the playoff ended today, again, remember, is it going to be Bama or Cincy? Because here's what's crazy. You've got Georgia, Cincy, Oklahoma, Bama, the top 4 right now. Bama is going to roll. They just steamrolled Mississippi State last week versus Auburn, the Iron Bowl. It might come down to that, but I think it's going to be Bama, Georgia in the SEC title game. If Georgia wins, obviously they're in. Now, what if Alabama beats Georgia? Then those 2 are in, right? What if Georgia beats Bama, but it's a close game, right? And people want to see Bama, a 2-loss Bama. I'm telling you, Cincinnati might get screwed. Oklahoma's basically a walk-in unless they get Oklahoma State. If that's an undefeated battle at the end of the year. And then the Big 12 title. Big 10 is going to be a mess. You've got Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State all playing each other. They're all in the top 8 right now. So again, too early to tell. Who knows? I would edge. I think it's going to be Ohio State. It's either going to be Ohio State or Michigan State's just going to shock everyone as they just keep getting it done. Cover after cover, win after win. They're still undefeated. So, that's what's interesting. Those are the top 8 right now. And again, it could come down to, what are we going to get? We're going to get Georgia, Oklahoma, Bama, and Ohio State, right? And it's just going to be the usual suspects. But right now, who knows? Cincinnati's just got to take care of business. They can't slip up. They've got an SMU possible undefeated showdown on November 20th. But other than that, their schedule's light. Have they done enough? They beat Notre Dame. Or is Bama going to screw them?